Hey student, watch this video and learn how to use used to, be used to, and get used to. Coming up. Hey friends, Teacher Prix here with another English lesson to help you talk to anyone, anywhere, anytime in English. First of all, thank you so much for joining me on another English lesson. If it's your first time here, consider subscribing because from Monday to Friday, I have many different kinds of English lessons to help you become a better and more confident English speaker. All right, what's the difference between used to, get used to, and be used to? That's what we're going to talk about tonight. And hey, make sure to download my free ebook. The link is in the descriptions. When you download the ebook, you are going to learn 5 different strategies to help you better understand and talk to people in English. Check out the descriptions and you are going to find the link and how to join. Now, used to. Okay, this is the first one I'm going to show you. The explanations are simple, so this is going to be a short and sweet email. And no, today is not very cold, but I am cold. Do I have a cold? No, I have a stomachache. Anyway, used to is simple past, okay? That's the first thing you need to know. So I used to, my friend used to, my dog used to, okay? So I need a subject before used to. And I can use in the negative form. I didn't used to. My friends didn't used to, okay? That if it's a negative sentence, you don't use the letter D in use. You say, I didn't use to, okay? No D. Now, as I said, this is simple past. And I'm going to use this structure to describe activities that I did regularly with frequency in my past, long time ago, okay? So these activities that you are describing with used to, they were, simple past, they were part of your routine. You did them very frequently. You did them regularly. Doesn't mean you did every day. Doesn't have to be every day in the past, but you did them very regularly, okay? Now, today, in your present time, you don't do them. You don't do them anymore, okay? So, for example, I used to live in Boston. Not anymore. Today, I don't live in Boston, okay? So, I used to live in Boston. After used to, you have to use a verb in the infinitive form without to because you already have used to. So, you don't need another to. I used to go. No. I used to go. I used to rule the world. Na, 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 na. I can't sing it. I don't remember the lyrics. So I used to be a nice person. Not anymore. I used to live in the countryside. Not anymore. So I describe every activity that I did regularly in the past. But today, no more, okay? So whenever you hear this in a song, in a conversation, it means you did that in the past. But today, you don't, okay? So this was part of your life, was part of your routine in the past, but not today. Moving on. Used to. Here, oh yes, I post more examples for you guys. So my father, this is true, okay? My father used to smoke, but he doesn't smoke anymore. Yes, my father smoked for 40 years, more or less, give it or take. 40 years. Can you imagine how hard it is for someone to quit smoking after 40 years smoking? Pretty hard, but he did it. So he used to smoke. He smoked regularly in the past, but today, no more. His lungs are clean. Amazing. Do you know anybody who used to smoke? Let me know here in the chat or in the comments. Did this person manage to quit, to give up this horrible, horrible habit? This is also true about me. That's negative. I didn't used to eat healthy food. Today, I can't live without it. Okay, so in the past, this was not part of my habit. I didn't used to eat healthy food. So this is true. I didn't eat healthy food. Okay. Today, it's completely different. Today, I really eat healthy food. So here I'm describing something that was not part of my life, that I didn't do regularly, okay, that I didn't often do. But now it's changed, okay? So I can make affirmative and negative sentences with this structure, okay? Now, I can also ask a question in the past. Hey, did you use, then no D because it's a question, okay? No ED, no conjugation because you're asking a question. So the verb goes back to base form without to. Did you use to play outside when you were a kid? So for some kids, that was not very common. So in my case, if I answer this question, did you used to play outside, Priscilla, when you were a kid? Yes. When I was healthy, because I was a little sick when I was a child. But whenever I was okay, whenever I was feeling good, I used to play outside, and it was amazing. I played with my neighbors. We got together and we played all afternoon. Oh, it was amazing. A good time. Did you used to play outside when you were a kid? Let me know here in the chat or in the comments, okay? Now, another example that is true about me. I used to visit my grandparents every Sunday. Not just, every weekend, but more specifically, every Sunday. Knock, knock, knock. Who is there? Priscilla and her family to visit grandma, okay? How about you? This is very common in Brazil. Families visit grandparents every weekend, not necessarily every Sunday, but every weekend. Well, this habit is changing, this culture is changing, but when I was a child, this used to be pretty common. Can I use used to be? Yes, I used to be a very shy kid. Today, still shy, sorry. But not on YouTube. When I'm making videos, I'm not shy. So I used to be, I used to go, I used to study. My friends used to be, used to go, used to do, used to buy. It doesn't matter what verb you need as long as you use your imagination, okay? I can't use a modal, for example, may, might, no. Then I would need to change my sentence. But I used to do, I used to sing, I used to dance, I used to study. Think about things that you did in the past, frequently, regularly. It was part of your routine, part of your life. It was something that repeated at a certain frequency. But today you don't do anymore. So you can use to describe that, okay? Moving on. Be used to, okay? This is a different structure. It has nothing to do with the past, okay? Now, if I say someone is used to something or to someone, okay, or to a situation, it's possible, okay? This means you are accustomed to something, okay? You are familiar with something. This thing or this person or this situation is not strange to you, is not unfamiliar to you. So I can use this structure in the present, in the present and in the past. This is not very common in the future, okay? When I say be plus used to, I need to conjugate verb to be. Am, is, are if it's in the present. Was, were if it's in the past, okay? So remember, when I use this, I am used to, you are used to, my friend is used to. I am describing something that my friend or I am familiar with. I am accustomed to, okay? So if you don't know the word accustomed, if you don't know the word familiar, then you have to Google them. Because if you don't understand these words, you will not understand the explanation of this structure, okay? And again, as I said, this is not a very basic structure. This is a lesson for pre-intermediate and other levels, but not before that, okay? Now, I'm used to Jack. It takes time, but you learn to like him, okay? So what am I saying here? I'm used to Jack. I'm used to someone. So I'm used to Jack. I know he's boring. It's just in the beginning. After some time, you really learn to love the guy. He's really nice. You see, give him a chance. So when I say I'm used to Jack, I'm saying that I am accustomed to Jack. He's not his attitude, his personality, everything about Jack is not strange to me anymore. I am familiar with the way he is. So now I am used to Jack, okay? And it takes time, but you learn to like him. And I think this is true in many stories. You know, when you first get to know someone, you don't really like the person, but after some time, you become accustomed to that person, okay? Now, I am not used to this kind of accent. So maybe someone from Ireland starts talking to me, and I'm like, you're Irish? Yes. I'm like, oh, I'm not used to this accent. I'm sorry, your accent is very different. So I'm not familiar with your Irish accent. This accent is strange to me. And when I say strange, I'm not saying this in a negative way. Okay, you're strange. No, I'm saying it's strange because it's new to me. I have no experience. I'm not familiar with this different accent. Okay? It's the same thing if I go all the way north of Brazil. I don't know many people in the north. I know that if I start talking to them, the accent will be strange to me because it's different from my accent here in São Paulo. And I'm not really from São Paulo per se. I'm from the countryside of São Paulo. So my accent is even different to people who live in the capital, who people who are born in the capital. My accent is different in Portuguese, okay? Moving on, let's take a look at more examples. Oh, and one important thing that I forgot to mention about be used to. Be used to and get used to. I will explain the difference between them because there's a small difference, okay? Every time there is a verb, because there will be a verb in many situations, remember, I can be used to people, to things, to actions, situations. If there is a verb after to, in this case, it has to be in the gerund form, ing. I'm used to doing. He's used to having. They are used to dancing. I'm not used to cooking, okay? But teacher, how about used to? No, different structure, okay? So if I am describing a past activity, I used to dance, I used to go out a lot when I was a child. If there is a verb, which is very common, in most cases there will be a verb, no ing, it's infinitive, and you don't use to because there's already a to here, okay? Not here. If there's a verb, it goes in the gerund form. I am used to making videos on YouTube from Monday to Friday, so I am accustomed to making videos on YouTube. This is not strange to me anymore. I'm very familiar with the way YouTube works, okay? More examples. I'm not used to having such nice neighbors. So let's say I move to another neighborhood, new apartment. Then my neighbors are super friendly, super nice and kind and sweet. So I call my best friend and he asks me about my new place, my new apartment, and I say, wow, everything's great, I'm not used to having nice neighbors. They're great. They even made me cookies. Yes, dream neighbors. My stomach. So when I say that I'm not, I can use in the negative form, okay? I'm saying this is a new experience to me. I'm not familiar with this experience. So if I say in the affirmative, if I use this in an affirmative sentence, I say I am familiar. If it is a negative sentence, I'm not familiar, okay? So I'm not familiar with having good neighbors, kind neighbors, nice neighbors, okay? This is a new experience to me. I'm not familiar with this experience. On the other hand, if it's an affirmative sentence, then this is not new to me, okay? So let's see the next example. Peter is used to working hard. He got his first job when he was 10 years old. So when I say he's used to working hard, this is not new to him. Working hard is not something strange, unfamiliar to him because he started working when he was 10. So this is something he really feels comfortable about, okay? It's not new to him. He's got experience. He knows this stuff. Now, next example is true to me. I'm not used to driving in the snow. I'm not familiar with this. This is a strange experience to me. But Priscilla, you lived in Boston. Yeah, but even though there was snow in Boston, I believe I drove twice or 3 times in the snow. There wasn't really heavy snow during the time I drove there. So I'm not really used to driving in the snow, okay? Next example. My mom is used to getting up really early in the morning. So it's an affirmative sentence. So when I say that, I'm saying my mom is really familiar with this. Priscilla, she's familiar with what? Getting up early. So she has done that. She has been doing that for years, since she was young. So getting up early to her is not different, it's not strange. She has experience. She knows this stuff. So my mom is used to getting up early in the morning. So here, when I use be used to, I'm describing something I am familiar, that I have experience with. And this is important because this will lead me to like and share. That's important. That's the stuff. So if you're enjoying the lesson, I ask you to support the channel and hit the like button. And if possible, share this lesson. When you share, it's because of you sharing the lesson that my channel grows. So by doing that, you're not just helping me grow the channel, but you're also helping me grow this community and help other students learn this lesson. Okay, so make sure to share. Now, get used to. You can get used to someone, something, or a situation, an action. And again, gerund, if it's an action that you are getting used to, you will use the verb in the gerund form. Now, this structure is very commonly used to describe present, past, and future. No biggie here, okay? No problems. Now, be used to, as I said, not so common in the future. But get used to, yes, and you will understand why, because there's a difference between get used to and be used to. Now, whenever I use get used to, I am focusing on the process of becoming accustomed to something. When I say be used to something, I am focusing on the result. You are accustomed. But when I use get, you are in the process of becoming accustomed to something. That is the biggest and very important difference between get used to and be used to, okay? So if you get used to something, you become accustomed to that thing, okay? Now, if you use verb to be, I'm saying you are used to something or not, if it's a negative sentence, okay? So let's say I moved to a new apartment again. Think about this. I moved to a new apartment, new life, new neighbors. Then I'm talking to my friends about the experience and I say, oh my God, my neighbors are very noisy, but I got used to them, okay? After a few months, well, I moved already for a long time, okay? But after a few months, I really got used to them. So what am I saying here? It took me some time to become accustomed to the noisy neighbors, but eventually this happened. I became familiar. I became accustomed to this. So this verb get gives me the idea of the process. Verb to be doesn't, okay? If I say I am used to my neighbors, I'm not describing the importance of the process behind it. But if I use get to, I am showing that it took time. There was a process behind it, okay? Until I got used, until I really became accustomed to my neighbors. And eventually, after a few months, it happened. I became accustomed to them. Now, let's say I changed my routine and I never woke up early before. I always woke up late. And after some time in my life, I decided to get up early. Then after a few months, I share the experience with my friends, with my family, and I say, wow, I'm getting used to getting up early. So when I say that, I am getting, this is continuous, I am getting used to getting up early. Very repetitive, but I can say that. Different gets here. I'm telling my friend that I am becoming accustomed to getting up early in the morning. I am not 100% there. Like in the first example, I got simple past. So there was a process and it happened. And I indicate this process. But here I am getting. So it's happening gradually, okay? I'm getting used to getting up early in the morning. I am becoming accustomed. I am learning to change this habit. I'm not 100% there, but I am in the process of it, okay? Now, more examples, because I believe the examples will help you, okay? The son and the father, they're having a conversation. Son, what? Now I have to make my bed every morning? I can't believe it. Ah. Then the father tells the son, don't worry, son. You will get used to it, okay? What is this it? Making the bed, okay? He will become accustomed to making the bed. After some point, he will achieve this level in his life, okay? I know it's a little dramatic, but this conversation exists, okay? It happens. Now, I'm saying here that he will go through a process. He will have a process of becoming familiar with making his bed every day. There will be a time when he will adjust and adapt to this new change in his life, okay? Next example. So Anna and Peter. So Anna asks Peter, so hey Peter, how'd you like your new job? And then Peter says, well, I'm still getting used to the new routine. So when I say this, I'm not saying I am used to the new routine. I'm saying I'm in the process. I'm getting used to the new routine. If I said here, well, I got used to the routine. If I said I got used, I said that now I'm already okay, okay? I went through the process. I had a process to become comfortable, to become familiar with the process, and it happened. So this is a very important difference between get used to and be used to. So tell me here in the comments, are you getting used to the quarantine? Me? Not really. I can't say I'm getting used to the quarantine. I think this will never be something that I will feel comfortable with. Other than that, my friends, make sure to share this lesson with your friends and hit the like button. Thank you so much, and I'll see you tomorrow for another English lesson. Bye-bye!